Hey everyone, and welcome back. This topic is an introduction to production possibility diagrams. This topic covers the second point in section 4.1.1.5, production possibility diagrams, in the course specification. Don't worry, you've not missed a topic on the point above. We're going to do this section in reverse order as we think it makes more sense this way. In this topic, we'll introduce you to the concept of production possibility diagrams and how to interpret them, and why all points on the boundary are productively efficient, but not all points on the boundary are allocatively efficient. Let's start off with some key terminology. So, what is a production possibility diagram? It's a diagram that shows the different combinations of two products, or types of products, that can be produced when all available resources are employed fully and efficiently. Let's take a look at one. This is a production possibility diagram. The main components of it are the vertical and horizontal axes and the arc that connects them. Each axis has quantities and is labelled. The most important part of the production possibility diagram is the arc that connects the two axes. This arc is known as the production possibility frontier, or PPF. There are some other names for it that you might see. These are production possibility boundary, PPB, or sometimes just boundary, and production possibility curve, or PPC. These terms all mean the same thing, so it doesn't really matter which one you use, although it's a good idea to pick one and stick to it for consistency. In this course, we'll just use the term production possibility frontier, often just written as PPF. The PPF shows the possible combinations of two products that may be produced using the available resources. The two products shown here are cotton on the vertical axis and wheat, which is on the horizontal axis. PPFs can only show the combination of two products, or the two types of products, that can be produced using the resources. These products could be goods or services. Sometimes you will see individual products on the axes, for example, apples and strawberries. Sometimes you will see types of products, for example, consumer goods and capital goods. A really important assumption underlying a production possibility diagram is that resources are employed fully, meaning that they are all used, and efficiently, meaning that they are used in the way that produces maximum output. Now let's take a look at some production possibility diagrams in action. Looking at this production possibility diagram, at point A, the resources are used to produce only cotton. So 80 tonnes of cotton are produced, but no wheat at all. How do we know that 80 tonnes of cotton are produced at point A? Well, as cotton is on the vertical axis, we look at the position of point A on the vertical axis, which is at 80 tonnes. We know that no wheat is produced because when we look at where point A is on the horizontal axis, we see it is at 0. Now, if we change production to point B, the resources are used to produce only wheat. This means that 80 tonnes of wheat is produced, but no cotton at all. Both point A and point B could be said to be extremes. They both only produce one product with no quantity of the other product on the diagram. Let's look at some different combinations of products. At point C, the economy produces £70 billion of capital goods and £39 billion of consumer goods. How do we work out the level of production of capital goods and consumer goods at point C? Well, starting with capital goods, which are on the vertical axis, we draw a dotted line across from point C to the point at which it meets the vertical axis, which is at £70 billion. Repeating the same for consumer goods, we see that £39 billion is produced. If we move to point D, the economy now produces £50 billion of capital goods and £61 billion of consumer goods. In this example, point E lies outside the production possibility frontier. It is not possible to produce this combination of goods using the resources available. If you wanted to produce this combination of capital goods and consumer goods, you would need more resources. At this point, we need to look at two new pieces of key terminology. The first of these is productive efficiency. This is producing at the lowest possible cost, or with fixed resources, such as in a production possibility diagram, this means maximising product output. The second of these is allocative efficiency. This is when the combination of goods or services that is produced is optimal, meaning that it can satisfy consumers' wants and needs. Now let's put this knowledge to use. In this diagram, point F lies within the PPF, not on it. So this combination of goods is possible to produce, but productively inefficient. It is inefficient because you could have more capital goods and more consumer goods using the available resources. Remember, the resources represented by the point on the diagram are fixed, so wherever the point is on the diagram, the same resources are available. This leads us to an important point in this topic. Every point along the PPF is productively efficient. This means that every combination of products produced along the PPF will use the resources available as efficiently as possible, producing the maximum output. No matter whether it's here, 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 or here, all of these points along the PPF are productively efficient. However, not every point along the PPF will necessarily be allocatively efficient. This is because not all combinations of goods will reflect the combination that people in the economy want or need. For example, if people want and need £60 billion of capital goods and £50 billion of consumer goods, then point G is both productively efficient, because it lies on the PPF, and allocatively efficient, because it is the combination of goods that people want and need. Point H, however, is productively efficient because it lies on the PPF, but not allocatively efficient because it produces fewer capital goods and more consumer goods than people want and need. Now we've reached the end of this topic, so let's take time to summarise what we've learned. Production possibility frontiers, also known as PPFs, show the combination of two products that can be produced using available resources. A key assumption in PPFs is that resources are employed fully and efficiently. All points along the PPF are productively efficient, but they may not be allocatively efficient. Combinations of products inside the PPF are possible, but not productively efficient. Combinations of products outside the PPF are not possible with the resources available. That's it for this topic, everyone. Thanks for listening.